is the Chop and Block Podcast. Welcome back. And this show is brought to you in part by DJ's Clam Shack here in St. Augustine, Florida. And you know what? It's time for This Week in College Football. And we always come hot and heavy. We appreciate you watching this. We're going to start it off quickly. Segment 1. We've talked about Colorado enough, it seems. We'll talk about them one more week. But first, is Oregon that good, or is Colorado just not ready to play this top tier, level in the conference play? I'm going to start with Dylan. Go ahead.
I think both are true. I think Oregon is damn good. I think they're legit. We saw glimpses of that last year, and they returned a lot, so they're even better. They finally have a really good defense. I think they lagged at times last year defensively, and Bo Nix is playing out of his mind. Colorado, they have the skill guys to compete at this level, but they don't got the big hog mollies up front. They don't have the big dudes to and they definitely don't have the depth at that position to stay in these big games. And I mean, they're still a team that can get 7-8 wins, at best, but they're not going to beat these highly talented teams with great offensive and defensive fronts. And with Bo Nix, I know this is after this, but I do think he has a chance at the Heisman. But a lot of that really depends on team success. He's going to have the numbers, but if Oregon can be a one-loss team, then he'll have a shot at it.
What do you say, Coach?
Well, honestly, Colorado is a good football team, but they're just missing too many pieces right now to be considered a top-tier contender. You know, what Deion's doing with them right now is good. It's going to help in recruiting. But like I said, they're not really what I would consider top tier. And as far as Bo Nix and being a Heisman contender, of course. Why wouldn't he be? I mean, when it comes to the Heisman now, it's not about the best player in college football. It's about the best quarterback in college football. So it's just another award for a quarterback. I mean, if a quarterback throws a 3-yard slant on the 15-yard line to a wide receiver who stiff arms a corner, spins off of a linebacker, makes the move on a safety, go 85 yards for a touchdown, who's going to get the real stat when it comes to the Heisman? It's going to be the quarterback because he's 1 for 1 for 85 yards and a touchdown. So you know what? He's on fire. But, all Bo Nix has to do is just be one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the nation. And he'll definitely be there for the Heisman ceremony.
I agree, Coach. Craig, I know it wasn't the greatest weekend for you, but give us something right here to make it a little bit better, I guess. Let's talk about another team.
Yeah, that's a good takeaway from that one. I sure don't want to talk about Auburn right now, but I tell you, I'm kind of in agreement with the guys. I think, again, I touched on it last week when we talked about the game. It doesn't matter how you recruited your skill positions. And again, this is close to my heart because I'm a lineman. If you don't have the offensive and defensive line, it don't matter what kind of skill positions you got. It just don't matter. And, Colorado don't have the hogs yet. They just don't. I forgot what the average weight of their line was. It was pitiful. And at some point, physics takes over. I mean, if you're going to put a Volkswagen up against a Greyhound bus, that Greyhound bus is going to win 9 times out of 10, no matter how pissed off that Volkswagen is. I mean, stats are stats and physics are physics. So they just don't have the size yet. I think we're a couple of recruiting cycles away from seeing Deion put a team that can make a serious run at the conference championship. As far as Bo Nix is concerned, kid's passed for 1,200 yards this year, something like 14 touchdowns, 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Yeah, he's a Heisman candidate. I think that's the thing that he had, what he was missing at Auburn. I mean, other than the fact he had 3 offensive coordinators in 3 years, was the fact, the OC out there has designed an offense around him. That's why he looks so good. It's so complimentary to his skill set. That's why they're doing good. I mean, they obviously have some hogs too, and a great running attack and good defense. I mean, I hate to say good defense in Pac-12, but good defense for the Pac-12. So yeah, I think Bo's a definite Heisman candidate. He's, we might touch on this later in the segment. He's him and one other guy are my 1 and 1A. I don't really have a number 2 right now. That's my 1 and 1A right now for the Heisman.
All right, TJ.
Yeah, I agree with Oregon's legit. The only thing that I'd like to see from them, which we're not going to see until they play like an SEC team or a team like Michigan, Ohio State is. I don't know how good their front seven is. Like we just said, Colorado doesn't have guys up there up front that are going to push people around. We know Oregon's got the secondary. They got SEC corners, SEC safeties. I mean, they got legit guys in the secondary. But do they have the front seven to compete with the Georgias, the Alabamas, the LSUs, the Michigans, the Ohio States to stop the establishment of the run game that opens up that pass? In the Pac-12 right now, for the most part, all you got to do is stop the pass. You got 3 Heisman candidates in the Pac-12, not just one.
Mm-hmm.
But Colorado, look, man, I'm different than y'all on this. I don't think they're were ever a contender. I think we hopped them too much after the TCU win. I think they're a 6-7 win team at best, which is, like I said, we've been saying, huge accomplishment for Deion in year 1. But man, those kids are worried about the wrong thing right now. I said it before we got on here. I'm looking all over freaking TV before the games. They're in the other team's freaking area warming up, just talking crap, and they're not backing it up. And it's the guy, and like I said, Shiloh Sanders was the main one. I see him with his face in the turf every 5 plays against Oregon. So you got eventually, yeah, I understand the hype because you're playing for Deion, but eventually you got to let the main thing be the main thing and get it back to football. Until you get back to that, we're going to see a lot more games like we just seen from Colorado against these other teams, because everybody wanted to say something about Dan Lanning, about what he said after the game. How is that any different than what Deion and his players have been saying this whole time? And Lanning was professional about it. He didn't go out and say anything. But then you got guys like LaShawn McCoy in the media saying, well, what happened to Dan Lanning when he played his first real team? Dan Lanning didn't come out talking crap about how he's going to beat the brakes off of Kirby's old team. Or his old team at Georgia. We coming.
Slow down
already.
Slow down, Tony, because the truth is Lanning wasn't doing nothing but front running. He was a coward. He knew he was going to beat Deion. Everybody in the world knew he was going to beat Deion. And he said, hold on. And he said he wasn't doing it for the clicks. He was absolutely doing it for the click, because if he wasn't and he wanted to pump his team, he would have excused the camera crew and he would have said it to his team. He knew he was going to get clicks too. He was being a hypocrite. Now, I don't have a problem with what he said. You do what you need to do to get your team ready to play the game. But he was absolutely being a hypocrite.
All I'm saying is that we don't criticize Deion and his team for coming out and do this. We praise it for it being a different style of coaching and that it's different from everybody else. But as soon as Deion gets his ass whooped, we hear about how Dan Lanning should have handled things. LaShawn McCoy, like I said, you can look it up. He's sitting there talking about how Dan Lanning, what happened to him his first big game. Dan Lanning, the whole time leading up to Georgia, was like, yeah, we got our work cut out for us. I don't know if we have the talent. I don't know if we have this and that we're going to try to compete. Never once was he very confident in that game because he knew what was about to happen.
Both things can be true because Deion never said anything to Lanning. Deion,
I'm just saying.
I know you didn't say he did. All I'm saying is 2 things can be true. You know, the boys can be. They should not be on Oregon side talking crap and doing all that. You can boost your program however you want to boost it, but let's don't act like that the guy did not take advantage of the moment. It seemed very personal to him, and Oregon could have left that speech in wherever and came out and they would have beat the crap out of Colorado. They're just a better team. That's all it is.
Yeah, but the issue that I'm getting from it, my issue is, why is the media making such a big deal about it? We just, like we've been getting used to it with Deion, just let it go. Just go with it. It's football. Like, why are we blowing it up like Dan Lanning shouldn't have done that?
Because the media is pro Deion. Deion sells.
Exactly.
Deion gets all the views, so they're going to be pro Deion.
Yeah, man. They're as much as we like to think football is just what it is. Dude, football is it's the entertainment industry, man.
Right.
The clicks sell. People don't just watch because they love to throw the pigskin. Dude, they watch because there's storylines in it, man. Dan Lanning did exactly what he was supposed to do. He knew the assignment and he killed. He managed. Yeah. Going into this game, man, it was all about Colorado, talking. He had to get his team back relevant in the media again.
But the only problem, and then the other problem that I had is with Lanning is, and don't get me wrong, I'm on record. Everybody knows I'm on record for Deion when he was talking all this smack during the beginning of the year. It was like, dude, chill out a little bit, But what I'm saying, to go on a halftime and say I'm not satisfied when you're beating the crap out of the team, dude. Please, come on. That's at some point we always want to go back to let's have some sportsmanship. It's either going to be dog eat dog world, or we're going to keep it above the line. So both of them really did something wrong, and so the media should not be blaming Lannon any more than they are. Dion, but Lannon, he had some little issues. I had some issues with what he was doing too.
Hey, Jared, I want to throw this question to you. The question is Oregon that good, or is Colorado just not ready yet for the top tier teams in conference play? But before I want to throw that to you, I want to touch on something. I don't know if anybody's seen the video of the Colorado players going into the locker room, taking videos and bashing how bad Oregon's visitor locker room. Their heads are in all the wrong places, it seems. They're worried about everything else and not football. And they got showed what a real team was. And let's be honest.
If they did that, they deserved it. If they did that, they deserved everything.
Oh, they did. They bashed the locker room so badly. And let's be honest, it's a visitor locker room. I get it. Yeah, these are $1 million stadiums, but you're the visitor. That's what it's like going on the road. I mean,
dude, there's teams
in high school, we had some of the worst changing
locker
rooms.
room.
And even in college, man, I mean, there was some games, in baseball where we're changing out in the parking lot. Like, it is what it is. You're on the road. It's not your home.
Yep.
But go ahead, Jared. I wanted to just put that out there.
Oh, well, yeah, to speak on that, look, man, if you're out there talking shit on the field, man, I got no problem with that because you're about to play, so we're about to figure it out either way. Now, if you're talking shit about the guy you're not going to play all season, I have a problem with that. But Colorado and Oregon talking shit about each other, go for it, man. You're going to play each other. And at the end of the day, somebody's going to be a winner and somebody's going to be a loser. But anyway, I mean, so, at the end of the day, you're the right or you're wrong. But as far as Oregon and Colorado, I do believe Oregon's a top 10 team. They have been all season. Now, as far as you want to say, I agree completely with TJ on the lines of scrimmage. That could have some things to do it. But, I mean, when you have a quarterback at Bo Nix, did y'all see the stat – or not the stat, but y'all see the storyline where Justin Herbert and Bo Nix played against each other?
His freshman
and Justin
year.
Herbert's been in the NFL for 4 years.
Yeah.
Like, that just mind boggles me. I know it's – So, when you're Oregon and you have a quarterback like that, the sky's the limit for you. It really can be. Yeah. The sky's the limit. The sky's the limit for you. They have a great team. They have great recruiting classes. I think they've been top 15, top 20 the last 5-6 years. So, I mean, you've got talent out there. And let's be quite frank. I mean, the only other person in that division that I would really, if I'm Oregon, that I would hate to play is Washington. I don't know if y'all watched USC against Arizona State the other night. Man, they look like hot garbage.
Lincoln Riley ain't nothing.
They don't the defense at USC worries me a lot more than anything Oregon has going on. Is Bo Nix a Heisman candidate? I'm going to say no, only because of the two other guys that are in that conference. And you got Drake May elsewhere and other things going on. Bo Nix is a top 10 quarterback in the country, and nobody's going to convince me otherwise. And his completion percentage was definitely padded this weekend against Colorado because I do believe after watching that game that we could all sit out there and probably put up points on Colorado after watching that. But this is the Colorado that you thought you were going to see. Now that's not what Colorado has done so far has been impressive. I never thought they would get 3 wins, and they've done it. But when they came up against the big boy who had the depth and had the talent, they got boat raced like they were supposed to. Oregon did what they were supposed to do when they were supposed to do it at home. Dion did everything he could to get this team hyped up and motivated, and the players took it a little too far, and I think that distracted them from the goal. But Shador having, what did they have, like 70 yards on offense? I mean, what? I don't care who you're playing, man. If you have 70 yards of total offense,
yeah,
man, that's rough. That's real rough. So yeah, Oregon, I think is the real deal. And can they play with anybody in the top 10? Yeah, probably. Washington, in my opinion, is the team to beat. But as far as them playing with everybody else, yeah. And this is the Colorado, like I said, we thought we would see.
Bet the over. Bet the over Colorado USC. It's going to be 58-40.
What is the over? Do you know?
Probably very high. I don't know.
Oh, smash that, dude! Smash that.
I smell some dumpster juices cooking, but we got a little bit to get there. The next thing up, Michael Penix Jr. is on an absolute historic trend. Leads the country by well over 200 yards passing and has 16 touchdowns through the air. Can he lead Washington to a college football playoff berth? We haven't seen that since 2016 versus Alabama. I'm going to start with Dylan Milroe. Go ahead.
Had to get the last name of a true winner, a true good quarterback.
Let's go.
Yeah, they definitely can. Obviously, we all know Penix. I mean, we know what he can do. Looked at it, he's on pace for over 5,000 yards, over 50 touchdowns, and under 10 picks. Like his numbers are like creative player road to glory stuff. The difference between this year and last year, though, I don't know. Are any of y'all familiar with the new like stat that everybody's going by, the stop rate in college football?
No.
So the stop rate is the percentage of defensive drives that end in punts, turnovers, or turnover on downs, and they're top 25 in that. And last year, I think they were like 80th or something. So the defense has improved like tremendously, and for that, and then the fact that Penix is just going to go off every game, I think they got a shot.
All right. Coach Price, I know you got some dumpster juice coming, but do you got anything nice to say about the Washington Huskies so far?
I mean, the Washington Huskies are nice. Penix is nice. I mean, he's got a chance to, break every record there is. But the bottom line is he's got to go through Oregon, USC, Utah, Oregon State, and Washington State, and it ain't going to happen. Bottom line is what he's doing is nice, but I wouldn't count on him leading them to no victory like they did in 2016, because in 2016, none of those teams were any good. Now, all of them are ranked, but I wouldn't say that, he's going to win anything major for Washington, because I'm still looking at USC and Oregon as the top two dogs in that conference. I like what Washington is doing, but I don't think, you're going to get past, Oregon, period. Because the one thing you got to remember is Oregon plays this week against Stanford. Washington plays this week against Arizona. Then both of them go into a bye week. So if it were me, I'm putting my money on Dan Lanning with the same amount of footage that you got on me is the same amount of footage that I got on you, and I got 2 weeks to prepare for you. So I look at Washington and Penix. You're going to actually see this guy get determined that he's really human and he's no super athlete when he faces Oregon, because Dan Lanning, I promise you, he'll have a scheme just going to stop this kid.
I don't know about that, Coach.
Watch and see.
Let me follow JP.
I don't know about that, Coach.
I can get on the wagon. He's doing good now. That's fine, but it's just like Colorado. When is he going to really face somebody that's going to bring something to him, that's going to really challenge him? And who has he played that's really going to challenge him like that?
I agree. He does need a tougher challenge. And let's be honest, what a challenge in his last name, because it could get real south quick. TJ, go ahead, Tony.
Look, man, I disagree wholeheartedly with Coach Price on this. Man, I don't even know where to start. I think he's still a little hungover from that Boise State pick at the very beginning of the year.
That's true.
But, look, man, I told y'all at the beginning of the year, Washington is for real. And you got to remember, Washington played Oregon last year, and Oregon had them beat. And Michael Penix shut it down, won the game. And the defense also got to stop. Michael Penix has been challenged. Look, last year this man threw for 4,700 yards, 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Oregon was a good team last year. What's crazy, look, you say the bad about Dan Lanning, which I agree, he's going to have a good scheme. Washington's got the best offense coordinator in the country. I think Nick Saban fumbled that hire. We should have gave him what he wanted when we interviewed him, instead of being selfish and being like, you know what, I haven't seen what you can do in the SEC. I'm not paying you what you want. I'm going to pay you what I think you deserve, and you got to earn it. I think we should have gave him what he wanted, because he is the best offense coordinator in the country, and it's not even close. But it's not just Michael Penix. They have not one, not 2, 3 receivers on pace for over 1,200 yards. That's never been done, ever. I think, how many teams have had 2,000-yard receivers? I know a couple teams. I know my team's done it once, but that's 3?
It's rare.
It doesn't happen much. And then, like Dylan said, defensively, they actually have a defense now. And like I said, yeah, I think Oregon's high-powered and everything, but I don't care how much Bo Nix has developed. He's still the same Bo Nix in crunch time.
Bo Nix.
So I do believe Washington runs away with this conference. I don't think USC is going to finish top 2 in the conference. I think USC might finish as low as 4th because Caleb Williams will get hurt at some point. Their defense is terrible, and they will lose a game, the team that they should not have even a game with. I mean, it's just how it normally works with Lincoln Riley. I think it'll be Washington, Oregon, and I think there'll be another team that surprises you that finishes top 3. But I got Washington getting into the playoff as of right now.
100%.
All right. Craig, what you got to say?
The good news about this rivalry is, about this topic, like I said, I got 1A and 1B. I got Nix and Penix, 1A and 1B. I don't really think – I mean, Penix stats are better. I'll give you all that. What's going to come down to is who wins the head-to-head, right? I mean, we'll find out in a couple weeks. If Penix comes out there and lays an egg, and I'm not saying he will or he won't, I'm just saying if he does, that Heisman's going it's a head-to-head matchup. But I think I have not watched enough Washington to really show you. I just watched some of Penix's highlights, so I can't really say much. I've watched Oregon a couple times. That team's for real. Those defensive schemes and stuff like Coach is talking about, Lane, he's got them ready to play. So I think that's going to be a tough out for him, for Washington to pull that win off. So we'll see. But I think the winner of that game is going to be, unless there's an injury involved between Penix or Bo Nix, the winner of the Oregon-Washington game is going to be the front runner for the Heisman.
Where is that game?
It should be at Washington this year.
Yeah,
No. It's at Oregon, I think, because I think
Oregon,
Washington pulled it
It's
off
at Oregon.
At Oregon, yes.
Yeah.
All right, Jared
It'll
Cole.
be a good one. That's what I'm looking forward to. It's hard. I can't remember the time I said I was looking forward to a Pac-12 game, but I'm looking forward to that one. It might be 116 to 108.
I used to love looking forward to Stanford beating USC every other year.
Facts.
That was pretty fun.
Look, man. Look. I know we can't take – me personally, I can't take a lot from watching one half of one football game. USC's defense is cheeks. They suck. I cannot describe to you how bad they freaking suck. Oh, my God. Look, man, I know Oregon is a great team. They are. I'm a Georgia fan, and I can't tell – and TJ will tell you the same thing. Anybody in here will tell you the same thing. I don't want my team playing Washington tomorrow. I don't want it. I wouldn't put money on my team against Washington tomorrow. Wouldn't do it. Wouldn't happen. And there's not enough teams at the top that I think can match the firepower that Michael Penix has, man. He is on a freaking roll. Now, like I said, if he gets hurt, it's all out the window. Granted, understand. We're acting also like they've played some scrubs this whole time. Now, I'm not saying Cal is the greatest team in the country, but they hadn't played no Georgia Highlands Community College. They haven't played no Sam Houston School for the Cattle Company. I mean, they haven't played nobody like that. And they have taken care of business every freaking time. It's never been a question. It's never been a question. It's never been close. Nothing. You can't sit here and tell me, as we're sitting here right now, 4 teams that are better than them. I think they win the Pac-12, and I think they win it outright boat racing, folks. They might boat race Oregon. I don't know. Now, I agree with Coach. The 2 weeks off for Dan Lanning will be very interesting to see, giving him a lot of time to sit there and try to focus on that. But I mean, these receivers, man, good God, I don't know what you do against that. Michael Penix right now has the Heisman in his hand, as far as I'm concerned. The only thing that worries me about that is bias from last year for Caleb Williams, because if you talk to anybody, it's kind of like Caleb Williams is up here. Nobody wants to remove him off of that ladder, I guess, until he does something terrible. But, man, they're going to blow USC's cheeks off. They're going to blow them off. You heard it here first. Blow them off.
Hey, I'll believe in USC whenever Caleb Williams stops painting his nails.
Yeah, facts. at the lines of scrimmage, I think Washington is. I think that's severely underrated where they are there. And number one, the most underrated team in the Pac-12 at the moment is Washington State. I don't know if y'all watched them boys play yet, but them boys are some dogs. Them
They
boys
are.
might. They're gonna punch somebody's ticket here before.
Way to
long.
ruin what I said earlier, Jared, about a surprise team finishing third. Thanks,
I'm
buddy.
telling you, dude, they are hot, man. I tell you what, I will watch them every freaking week. They are nasty. But yeah, dude, Michael Penix is the man to beat. Washington is the team to beat, and he can absolutely. If you took me tomorrow, Washington can walk into a neutral site against any team, and I would put them. I would favor them over anybody at the moment.
Absolutely.
Well, we just had a comment said, "Why is Buddy in sunglasses inside?" Well, that is because when the Georgia Bulldogs won 2 national championships back to back, Jared Cole saw the light, and now he has a sensitivity to light, so he keeps the sunglasses on to stay anxiety free. But now,
Man, I tell you what,
it is absolutely time for Coach Price's dumpster juice of the week.
Oh boy.
go get him, Coach.
All right. Well, let's throw on the coveralls and crank it up and get it going. Our first stop in this route is the Colorado. 42-6 loss to Oregon. I don't care who you are or what you think, but Travis Hunter, you're not a 36 points factor.
Facts.
So, Dion, you and that squad, y'all need to reevaluate them bison burgers, because that package that I had is spoiled, and it's time to throw it in a bag, because Colorado, the performance y'all put on against Oregon, Coach Prime, you're straight trash. Now, our next stop is Tuscaloosa, Alabama, for the reason that a lot of y'all may think. But there's a foul stench in Bryant-Denny Stadium, and it's in the locker room, and it's in the visitors' locker room, and it's a bunch of nasty, dirty diapers that them Ole Miss Rebels and Lane Kiffin left behind when y'all went in the locker room at halftime. You had a chance to beat Alabama. You were down 2 points, and you didn't even need to be down 2 points at halftime, and you came out and you gave it up again, and you filled them little potty diapers up. So let's throw all them in the truck, because Lane Kiffin and the Ole Miss Rebels, for what y'all left in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, y'all are straight trash. Now, our next stop is Notre Dame. I asked y'all to do one simple thing to get the job complete. I told you that Ohio State had 11 cans of trash, so why did y'all bring 10 bags? Who you gonna beat? You gotta have 11 on the field, coach. So Notre Dame, you guys who can't come to the job, knowing that it takes 11 bags and you only bring 10, man, get in the truck, because y'all are straight trash. Now, our final stop of the day, we're going to have to set aside an area in the landfill for this group, because it seems that we're making a stop to pick trash up from you every single week.
Oh, I hope
But
he's
we're going to go to Clemson.
Let's go.
Now, I don't know if it was me, but Debo, you and your coaching staff look like a bunch of drunk buddies and brothers at a late cookout on a Saturday, arguing over a cornhole game, burning your timeouts. But you thought it was wise to take the game into overtime just so we could see Florida State take Dabo and Debo him in one play. So Clemson, I'm going to set aside 2,000 acres of the landfill for y'all, because it seems that y'all fill my truck up every single week in college football. And before the year is over with, we're going to be coming back to pick up a chair, because it's going to burn. And we know who was sitting in it, because Clemson Tigers and Dabo Sweetie, dog, y'all are straight trash.
And JP, tell him. Did you see what he said after the game? Talking about we're 3 plays away from being 2-0. Get in the damn truck.
Get the truck.
Dumpster juice.
Dumpster juice.
I look for dumpster juice every week, and I think it's going to be a part of the college football show and the NFL show for a long time.
Dude.
Is it being that it's Dabo? Is it holy dumpster juice?
I don't
No,
know.
man,
If
God's not even playing with that, man.
yeah, I don't think God's worried about the dumpster juice. But
I'm
that
pretty
brings
sure.
me
I'm pretty
to
sure the transfer portal was in the Bible. I'm pretty sure. If I saw it.
But when I said
I'm sure.
Tuscaloosa, I saw TJ squirm.
Yep.
I was waiting. I didn't know where you was going with it.
What we
All right,
got?
let's take it to segment 4, guys. After failing exam 1 against Utah, can the Florida Gators get it done against a team that has had their number in the past as they travel to the Bluegrass State and face the Kentucky Wildcats? I'm going to start with Mr. Dumpster Juice himself. What do you got to say about this game?
Well, I'm going to keep it short and simple. And I just want you to know that you're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding,
What?
jet flying,
What?
son of a gun.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time trying to hold these alligators down. Going down to Kentucky come Saturday.
All right.
All right, that I don't know if anybody can top that, but I'm going to throw it to Mr. Milrow. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to go after. Look, man, this is the battle of complementary football. Both of these teams are structured very similarly. The biggest difference I see is Graham Mertz actually takes care of the ball. Devin Leary is definitely more talented, but he turns the ball over. And this game is going to come down to field position and turnovers. And whoever wins that battle is going to win the game. I understand Kentucky, Florida hadn't had much luck going to Kentucky lately. But I think Florida, who I think has the best front seven in the SEC, I think they cause enough turnovers and they win the game.
But the problem with Florida's front seven is even though they're good, this is what's going to hurt them the most. Personal fouls. I don't know what it is about Florida players. I don't know if the doctors spank them on their ass a little different when they're born. But every Florida player that plays for any team in the nation is always going to come out of the ball game with unsportsmanlike, a late hit out of bounds, a roughing a passer, or a holding in a critical situation. Florida shoots themselves in the foot too much to get anywhere. I like what they do and I like how they recruit, but dude, y'all shoot yourselves in the foot too much. So I agree with Dylan. I don't see it happening.
Craig, what do you got to say about this matchup?
I got the Kentucky Wildcats at home against them Gators. I've been low on the Gators all year long. Y'all keep on singing their praises. I'm telling you, I have not been impressed. We'll see. I mean, even if they win the game, it is beating Kentucky. I hate to stomp on everybody's dreams there. I mean, don't get me wrong. Kentucky's greatly improved than they used to be, but that used to be a homecoming game. So, I hope the it's a good game. We'll see. Kentucky -1. It's one of them games, like you said, it's a toss-up. But in the toss-ups, I always pick the home field advantage, even though Kentucky don't have that much of a home field advantage in that little tiny-ass stadium. I'm still picking the Wildcats.
All right. Two-turn, what do you got to say?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. Kentucky might have a small stadium, but that place gets rocking. I've been. Big Blue Nation, they show up and show out. Them dudes, they don't have much to look forward to. So when when Kentucky's good at football, they're there and they ready. But let me tell you something. Hell no, Florida ain't going to Kentucky and winning. Look, I love Austin Armstrong. I love Florida's defensive coordinator, and I don't even think this is going to be in Devin Leary's hands. I think Kentucky's going to run the ball down their throat like they do every single time. I say Kentucky's running backs combined for 2 to 3 touchdowns by themselves. And honestly, Kentucky played Vandy last week. Florida's a better team than Vandy, but Swanson's a better quarterback than Mertz. I think Kentucky does a really good job on Mertz. If you get pressure on him, they don't have the people around him to help Mertz out enough besides Pearsall. Pearsall's the only thing they got on that offense, throwing-wise. Now, if ETN gets going and then they can work in some play-action pass, it might be a pretty good game. But I think Kentucky wins by 10 or more. I think Stoops has got Florida's number just in general, and I think Napier's going to find out quick.
Well, you talk about Florida's defensive coordinator. Let's be honest. He looks like Hank Hill's son, Bobby. But that's just how I feel about it. Jared Cole, what do you think?
Damn it, Bobby.
Oh, damn it, Bobby. Oh, no. This is a tough one for me because I agree with Dylan. They're the exact same teams, almost identical. I will say Graham Mertz, like you said, does take care of the football. I think, what does Leary have, six picks this year?
5.
5 or 6, yeah. And Yeah, I do give Kentucky the home field advantage here. What Florida did so well in that Tennessee game is they came out and executed their game plan to a T. What they wanted to do is exactly what they did. Parasol got involved early. They were able to run the football a little bit. Graham Mertz kept the football in Florida's hand. Devin Leary is the quarterback Florida should have went out and got in the transfer portal this year. That's who they went. That's who they should have gotten. But at the same time, man, Mark Stoops coaches a badass football team. They always do. They're always ready to play. And like they said, it's at Kentucky. This is Kentucky's game. And I know he turns over the football. I don't think he does this Saturday. I do think they're able to run the football. But I will agree with Dylan. Florida's front four is disturbingly nasty. What's that number 6 name? Do we remember? I talked about him in the first show. Dog, by the way. Freak of nature. Number 6.
I just know with Princely up there, it's.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I really think the Kentucky's got more athletes that are going to do more in this game. It is a complete toss up. I do think Kentucky wins this ball game. I think it's really close. I just think
Stoops can't beat you in the East is Kirby. I mean, he
yeah.
beat Georgia. That's it.
It's if this was at Florida, I think I would feel a little differently about this. But Florida going on the road this weekend, I don't know. I think Kentucky just tries to lock down Parasol to make anybody else on that team beat them.
All right. Well, let's go to the next segment here. And this should be a fun one. We saw late on Saturday night, and this was a big topic of discussion last week on the show. But let's be honest. On the final 2 plays of the game, within 5 yards, Notre Dame can't even get 11 players on the field. They played the last 2 plays with 10 players. I'm still shocked that the game ended that way. And I don't know if y'all follow Barstool Sports and Frank the Tank, but watching his reaction of that loss, it was like the most funny thing. He's become the new Drake. It's like every fan or every team he's a fan of just has a horrible outcome, and he's always in the crowd. So I think it's hilarious. But what do you think about this, guys? I mean, who's to blame here? Is it the kids or is it the coaches? Coach Price.
Coaches. I mean, Ryan Day had to burn a timeout from an intentional grounding and to avoid a 10-second runoff. And y'all go back out on the field with 10 players. So you can sit and say players, but to me, that's all coaching, because you should have had your package together. And as a position coach, you should have known what personnel you were going to have on the field for that. If you're the D-line coach and you got 5 guys in rotation and y'all doing a 3-man front, you mean to tell me you hadn't got your 3 guys on the field and noticed that if they're not out there? If you're the defensive back coach and you're supposed to have 5 DBs on the field, if you got 5 DBs on the field in this package, and then you know you're good. Your linebacker coach, you should have at least 2 guys out there on the field, but you only got 1. You didn't notice that. So we can say the players should have known, but the players only do what you're coached to do. So I blame the coaches in this situation, and I'm glad that the coaches stood up and took the blame in this situation. But y'all got to put the kids in a position to win, and coming off of a timeout, y'all didn't do it. Even if you just noticed that you had 10 guys from the booth, just run the other guy on the field. It's not illegal participation. You had 10 men on the field. As long as he ain't offsides when he run on the field, it's no flag. You had 10 men on the field. So I think it's coaching, man. And hopefully it's something that they'll learn from and they'll get it together going forward, because they got a big, a couple of big games coming up. You can't do these type things against a USC or anybody else they play. So it's all coaching to me.
Yeah, I agree. And I agree with you too on the classic comments from the head coach of Notre Dame taking up for it. And he looked good in that press conference. I know it was a tough moment.
He always looked good.
Yeah, he does. He always says the right things, it seems like. I think they got the right guy there. I wasn't sold on him when they made him the head coach, but I think they got the right guy. Dylan, what do you say?
Yeah, I mean, just keep on what JP was saying. It's 100% on the coaches, man. At these big level, institutions, these Power 5 places, man, they have 300 coaches. They have so many support staffers. There's multiple guys' jobs where you're literally told to
Count how many people on the field.
Keep count of personnel and substitutions. There's a guys whose job is literally just substitutions. Make sure when we're in the right packages, the right guys go out there. And what made it worse is after, all right, you fucked up on one play, but on the second play, like, how do you not see that? And then after they throw the incompletion and they're setting up to run their last play with 3 seconds left, how do you not run a guy out there? How do you not notice that and fix it? It's on the coaches.
Craig, what do you got to say?
I'm going a different direction. I'm blaming it on touchdown Jesus. No, just kidding. That's the coaches all the way, man. I mean, there's no less than 15 pairs of eyes on that field from the booth. 15 pairs. Out of 30 eyeballs missed. It ain't like it. We're not playing a rugby team that's got 47 players on each side. There's only 11.
Did you see how quick Auburn is able to do math? 30 he said 30 eyeballs. I mean, he did that math real quick. If that was
Quick,
Alabama,
like that. 15 pairs of 30. You said
if that was Alabama, we'll be here for the next hour.
Could be one of these.
Daddy knows math.
Yeah, man, that's the coaches all the way. And like Coach said on defense, just run them on the. Even if you realize it, just run somebody on the field. Hell, at that point, take the penalty.
Yeah.
Have you go out there? Somebody go kill the quarterback.
It'll stop the clock.
Go hit somebody.
Yeah.
Do something. At least get 11 men on the field. I mean, that was ridiculous. For a game of that magnitude to come down to that. I don't think the result would have changed anyways. I got picked Ohio State to win that game anyhow, but it's a shame for the kids. I hate to say that, but that's a shame for the kids.
Well, you brought up touchdown Jesus. Let's be honest, Jesus wasn't Catholic, and that might have to do with their luck on Saturday night.
It's like Lou said, Jesus didn't care, but his mother sure did.
Yeah, you can't blame the kids, man. It's 100% coaching. They're like Coach Price said, they had an intentional groundings and a timeout to avoid a 10-second runoff. There's no way as a coaching staff you're in the huddle and you don't know exactly the 11 guys that are going to be on the field and what each one of their jobs is going to be before you send them out there. There's no way. And I went and looked. This isn't the first time this has happened under Marcus Freeman. This has happened multiple times this year and last year. Like, I'm talking about 8 to 10 times they've lined up with 10 men on the field. And I don't understand how that happens. I understand, maybe one time, but there's no way you have sorry, I got blinded by a black cat.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I thought you told me last night you like black cat, but that's a different story.
But also, man, I plead the fifth, Dave Chappelle style. But I just don't get it, man. And it also seems like Ohio State, every player just got rabbit feet hanging from their testicles because the luck's always on their side, man. It just always is. There's not one of us here that thought they were going to lose that game once they crossed the 50 on offense. There's none of us. We knew they was going to find a way to win somehow, and they did. It doesn't matter who it is. I just don't understand it. It's like Jesus wasn't Catholic, but he might have been a Buckeye.
Jared Cole, what do you got to say?
Yeah, I agree with everybody. The only part about it that really gets me is like you said, the incomplete pass and the timeout. That's the part where it becomes inexcusable. That's where I throw in the towel, and I really don't know. Now I get it, man. You're down there on the goal line. The coaches can only go past the 30-yard line. So as far as when they're out there, I get it. And I know Marcus Freeman said after that he didn't want to run a guy out there and give Ohio State a free play, which I get that. I understand, but. And then he said after the game, they've got hand signals now towards the players to allow them to do it. Whatever, man. You're in the biggest game of your career so far at home, and that happens twice. These guys are getting paid millions of dollars. Like we said, there's 400 eyeballs out there in the last second, and there was a timeout, man. That I cannot get past that point right there. There's a freaking timeout, and you still couldn't get that. And number two, like I said, it's not on the players totally at all. But at the same time, that's a package, man. You run this at practice every day. How do you know Clarence isn't out there? Hey, man, where's my outside linebacker, man? There's nobody freaking out here. So that part too really kind of frustrates me
that when you have that kind of high caliber players right there, how do you not notice your dude in there? Like if Tony wasn't in this podcast night, everybody, hey man, where's TJ at? Because he's supposed to be right there. We see him every Thursday. So
It's fair.
That's kind of where I get a little upset too. But yeah, and very classy from him. You got to put it on him. He puts it on himself. That is absolutely the right guy for Notre Dame right now. Notre Dame is a good football team, and it's just kind of unfortunate right there. And the Scarlet and crap always gets it right there at the end.
Well, that brings me to my next point here. Is it Ryan's day? Is Ryan Day responsible for this victory, or are the Notre Dame coaches responsible for this Ohio State victory? We saw at the end of this game, Ryan Day in that fiery post-game speech on the field. And let's be honest, Lou Holtz, he would have more fun putting sandpaper on a Bobcat's ass in a phone booth than messing with Ryan Day after that, because it turned Ryan Day up. But Coach Price, who's responsible?
Well, Ryan Day actually choked, so he ain't responsible for the victory.
Mm-hmm.
He choked when they had to burn the timeout from the intentional grounding, because obviously he didn't have it right then. And if it wasn't for the fact that, there was a timeout used, it's 5 seconds left in the game. So to me, Ryan Day, he choked. Notre Dame coaching, you lost it. So the only people that really won the ball game, if you ask me, is the Ohio State players, knowing just to get up there and run the ball since we don't have any time on the clock. Because, I mean, if you look at the defensive formation, the left tackle and the left guard had nobody in front of them. Nobody.
Butt naked.
And as a Notre Dame player, how do you not see that?
Exactly. So, Ryan Day, you really didn't win the ball game, man. You choked and you just survived another week in college football. And like I said, if the Irish had actually been on their job and knew that it took 11 bags, it wouldn't have been no Ohio State victory.
If my aunt had nuts, she'd be my uncle. Ryan Day never ever gets credit for what he does. Everything is an if. We just said the last segment when everything went haywire, we gave the coach the blame. When we gonna get a coach the credit?
I give him credit for losing.
When he gonna get the credit? We talk about again. Let me say it again. It's went up since the last time I said this. 0.889 winning percentage. Now you tell me he can't win the big games. Okay, you said that. All right. Give him that. If you want to say that, I'll give you that. But we know he had Georgia up against the ropes. He almost put the brakes on Georgia. Yeah, now, so either Georgia's not good or Ohio State is pretty damn good. So
that was last year.
What I'm trying to say is the man, he wins.
Hey,
ain't none of y'all willing to put no money up against this man nowhere in this season except maybe
I got Michigan for
maybe against Michigan. That's it. But he wins, guys. He wins these games all the time. He always wins. When are y'all going to at least give this man a credit for being a winner? He is a winner. He always have been a winner. He always going to be a winner for the rest of his life. No matter if y'all like him or not, he's going to win. And you might see him in the playoffs, and you might see him win that natty this year. So get ready.
No shot. He doesn't have an NFL QB like he had last year.
Neither does Georgia. Y'all won 2 back to back.
But that's Georgia because we win in different ways. We're a complete team. He needed to.
Hey, the only way you can win is to have more points at the end of the game than the other team.
Hey, come to daddy.
That is true.
I'm ready.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get in there, but you know.
You're muted, Dalton.
You're muted, cuz. You're muted.
I'm back.
Oh, there you go.
When we talk about Lou Holtz and Ryan Day, okay, They've got me tripping over here on my mic now. I can't get 11 guys on the field apparently. But what do we say? I want to kind of just fast forward into the comments back and forth between Lou Holtz and Ryan Day, and I want to give my take first. Here's the thing: Lou Holtz has been paid to be on television since I would assume the late 90s, early 2000s. It was around that time.
1812.
He was a frequent guy on ESPN, and he's always got some wild takes. But in my personal opinion, I don't think what he said about Ryan Day was wrong. But I also don't think that how Ryan Day reacted and uses that as motivation for his team was wrong either. And I think it's only going to give them more motivation after he said that in the post-game interview on the field. It's only going to give them more motivation. So in my personal opinion, I don't see any of them being wrong, but I'll go ahead and start it with two-turn.
Oh, yeah, I've been waiting on this, especially after what Barry just said. All right, Barry, you want to talk about how this man's a winner. Man, this dude's straight out of Weenie Hut Jr. from SpongeBob, and we're going to start it like this. Look, he's a winner in the Big Ten, right? Tell me when the last time Michigan State was something. Tell me when the last time Indiana was something. Tell me when the last time Rutgers was something. Tell me when the last time Maryland was something. That's 4 of the 7 teams on their side of the conference. When was the last time Michigan was something before Jim Harbaugh? Ohio State won like 19 straight against Michigan, or 15, something like that. So in the entire whole, that half of the conference has been the Jared Cole special, cheeks.
Cheeks!
And let's roll from here. Ohio State is 3-4 in the college football playoffs. This bull crap, Ryan Day, this is where I have a problem. Like Digo said, that's fine motivating your team, but let's get a little turned up right here. You got to speak the facts if you're going to get turned up here and tell me, it's always been Ohio against the world.
Yeah, that's right.
Bull,
Yes.
crap.
It is.
Mr. D said, bullshit. He's 3-4. Ohio State gets the benefit of the doubt more than any team in the history of college football. We can start from the playoffs.
Alabama.
No, bull crap. Alabama, if they got it, they would have got in last year if they got the benefit of the doubt. Because let's go with it like this. 2014, Ohio State gets smacked at home by Virginia Tech. You couldn't even tell me the Hokies quarterback in 2014, and they smacked Ohio State with J.T. Barrett. He got hurt that game, and then their backup quarterback, and then you brought Carter. They had their backup quarterback who was also, or Braxton Miller was the guy that came in. They still lost. So then they get into the playoff. They won the national championship. So yeah, the committee looks good that year. Let's fast forward to 2006.
Hold on. Who won the national championship?
That's what I just said. They won it that year.
Who is they?
It worked out.
Who is they?
Ohio State. They won it that year, so it worked out.
Thank you.
It worked out that year. So they got the benefit of the doubt, and they won it. 2016, they lose to Penn State, who's not a good team that year. They're an average team. They get their absolute asses spanked on live television by Clemson, 31-0. I don't think they crossed the 50 the whole game, Ohio State. Fast forward to 2019. They lose to Clemson again in the playoffs. Fast forward to 2020. They get to the national championship with the greatest team Ohio State's had since Beanie Wells was at Ohio State. The best team. They were so good. Jamison Williams didn't even see the field. He went to Alabama the next year and was the best receiver in the country. That's how good Ohio State was. And they got absolutely thumped by nerdy Mac Jones. So Ohio State has got the benefit of the doubt. They've got bent over and spanked like a Gerber baby 9 out of 10.
Let's don't act like Mac Jones didn't have a team.
I didn't say he didn't. But Ohio State's offense was just as good as Alabama's offense that year. Their weapons, Garrett Wilson, Jamison Williams, and who was Olave? Olave was there? I think everybody as a whole right now. Olave. Look, you got Olave, Garrett Wilson, Jamison Williams, and then you got you had Jalen Waddle, who wasn't even healthy. Jalen Waddle played like 5 plays as a decoy in that national championship game. Devontae Smith had 200 yards before half, didn't even play the second half because he dislocated his finger. So you had 2 of their best receivers out
baby
the whole second half and lost by 30 to John Mechie and Mac Jones.
This is all personal. This is all personal bull crap. We're not looking at.
I gave you the numbers.
Listen,
That's
going back to the story of what happened. Lou Holtz, he want to get the senior citizen discount and he don't want people to beat up on him. He need to shut his mouth. Now, what it really was all about was being missed because we got fanatics like Alabama fans want to get on here. And I always want to talk X's and O's, but sometimes it's more than about X's and O's. Everybody knows when you do something at a high level, like Ryan is doing at a high level. He is one of, if you go in and look at his record and look at what he's done, he's earned every penny that they've paid him. He was hurt by the fact that Lou Holtz, somebody that he respected and that Lou Holtz would want to be respected by, he was hurt that he said that. After an emotional game, I want a coach who got a little passion. I want a coach who got a little fire in him to say, I love my team. He was legitimately pissed. That was really not about no motivation at that point. I think if he could have saw Lou Holtz, he might would have put them hands on him. And he would have deserved every bit of it. I do feel like Ohio State is flying up under the radar, and I'm glad nobody's talking to. I'm glad nobody's talking about them, because after my beloved this year, I'm riding with them Buckeyes in this Buck Nation for the rest of the year. Ryan Day, and I hope he get a chance at some point to put another foot in Alabama.
He's got a foot in Alabama. He's got smacked, but I got a question for you, Barry. I got a question real quick before anybody else goes. If Ryan Day's a winner, is Lincoln Riley a winner?
They all, yeah, he's a winner.
No, who is hers. They win these cupcake games, and they lose against the teams that actually got a steel-toe boot on.
Dude, y'all just almost got beat by USF. Is Saban a winner?
Hey, we talking about fossils, cuz Saban got 60.
See, every time somebody gets to talking about recent current event, somebody wants to
history, man. That was 10 days ago. Shut up.
We still won the game.
Yeah.
We still won. We didn't lose by 30 in the Natty.
And Ryan won his game.
No, we ain't talking about them. We talking about last year. We got Ryan Day will never win a national championship at Ohio State. Write it down.
Well, let's be honest. I agree with Barry. I agree with Barry. Lou Holtz better be careful before Ryan Day picks him up like the Dudley boys used to do Mae Young and slam him through a table. But before, I think that was a fiery one. Does anybody have anything else to say on this topic?
I just wanted to say, when Barry was talking about that fight, the only thing I imagined was Happy Gilmore fighting Bob Barker. That's how I imagine that goes. I think Ryan Day is going to be beating him down, and then Lou Holtz, headbutts him and gets that done. Yeah.
Hey,
But
I got a comment on Mac Jones.
Barker.
Man,
You better watch your mouth running about Mac Jones. He'll knock on your door and smack you right in the ding-dang.
Yeah, I'm sure.
but
Mac Jones will kick you right in the nuts, buddy, in a heartbeat.
touchdown. Anyway, but real quick. I mean, look, Ryan Day's a great coach. No, you can't say he's not. Here's the deal. Here's my thing with Lou Holtz calling Ohio State soft and shit. Now, look, man, Ryan Day found another way to win. He did. It just facts. He won the game. If you win, you were supposed to win. Because if you weren't supposed to win, you would have lost. Right? So I'm not saying Ryan Day's the all-world coach. Hey, man, you want to call people soft. Hey, man, he's finding a different way to win. They don't have all the big dogs up there anymore. He's finding a way to win. He's doing it differently. When Alabama won a few years ago, they did it differently than they did it in 2009 or whatever part of their 85 national title run, whatever it was. Georgia, a few years, these past 2 years, did it with defense. All these other teams a few years ago, offense. Our offense was pretty solid, granted, but the defense was the key to the game. Ryan Day's doing it a different way. And like I said, I would like to see him put some hands on Lou Holtz. I would pay to watch that. I really would. I mean, put that on ESPN special battle of celebrities, whatever you want to call it. He's doing what he has to do to win these ball games. He does not have an elite quarterback at Ohio State this year. He does.
He called him out. He called him out after the dub. But did y'all see, Lou Holtz got the final word? Did you see what Lou Holtz said yesterday?
No. What did he say?
He said, yeah, he said that about me because he don't want to think about Michigan. And I about died in that.
Georgia.
Valid point.
Oh, no, I don't think or Georgia, no. I'm telling you right now, y'all better start sleeping on Ohio State, dude. They good. Whatever you say, they're good.
Hey, get me one of them. What's that TV commercial with the damn moth flying around? What's that sleeping pill? Give me one of them things.
So
hey, all you got to do is go to Alabama because apparently the whole state of Tuscaloosa is asleep right now. So they got plenty of pills. Just go
we
one.
just beat up on a team that's about to whoop LSU.
Y'all ain't beat up on nobody. Y'all barely won that game. Stop it.
Barely. Double digits the whole second half ain't barely.
Oh, stop it. That's lame.
Barely is a game-winning field goal against the Razor Sacks.
Hey, y'all get a chance to see us, and I guarantee you it's going to be a day because I'm going to preach a hell of a sermon on that day.
I might show up to Barry's house again.
Yeah, and bring that little tiger you got with you.
Well, hey, that brings me to my next point. The Notre Dame green jerseys. Once again, we've seen them in a big game, and once again, we've seen a L. And all I could think about was the way this game ended. I know it was a little bit different circumstances, but 2005, USC comes to town. Notre Dame decides they're going to wear the green jersey. They have Jeff Samardzija at tight end and Brady Quinn at quarterback, arguably one of the best Notre Dame teams of this era, I guess. And we saw the Reggie Bush push as he pushes Matt Leinart into the end zone as the clock winded down there. Wasn't the last play in the game like this time, but I mean, let's be honest. Does Notre Dame need to wear these jerseys anymore? Because it seems they can't win the big game when they have them on. And let's be honest, sometimes they look ugly. But I'm going to start with Coach Price. What do you got to say about these?
Well, honestly, they have to wear the green jerseys. It's part of their makeup as far as a school. See, there is no way they can celebrate St. Patrick's Day in March as a football team, so they do it in the season. It's just a tradition that they have at Notre Dame. But it's about when you pull out the jersey. Stop pulling them out against top-tier teams. You know when they should have pulled a jersey out? Week 1 at home when they played Tennessee State and won 56-3. Now the jerseys look good. But stop wearing the jerseys against big teams thinking that's a motivational factor for you and your squad because y'all coming out there looking good in a jersey that you don't normally wear. I mean, to me, that's just like Georgia and they talk about the blackout jersey. Look, dog, unless we're playing Valdosta State, don't wear a blackout jersey. So, Notre Dame, look at wearing the jersey that's green when you're playing cupcakes instead of when you're going against top-tier talent because y'all not too successful going out there in your green. You don't have the luck of the Irish. The bottom line is no matter how many boxes of Lucky Charms there is on the shelf, it's an expiration date on
them. That's you all right. Two-turn, what you got to say about these green jerseys?
I mean, Coach Price basically took it right out of my mouth. I think they just got to find something different, man. I ain't got much to say on it. Notre Dame, same Notre Dame they've always been to me. They lose the big game too. They ain't never going to get over that hump. And if someone is going to do it, I think it is Marcus Freeman. But you got to realize this guy's a really young head coach, and he's got it football knowledge. In my opinion, I think he's one of the great young African American head coaches in the game. But you got to prove it on the field, man. You can have all the knowledge in the world. You don't prove it on the field, it don't matter.
Hold on, let me clarify. Is he a great African American coach or is he a great coach?
No, he's a great coach in general. I just threw that out there because a lot of people try to say African American coaches don't get the credit they deserve. He is one of them that does deserve it.
I just wanted to clarify for our
He is a great young football mind, but like I said, he's got to prove it on the field. It don't matter how much you know, you got to show it on the field. Don't matter about the damn jerseys.
Jared Cole, what you got?
Wear the damn jerseys. Keep wearing them. Golly, man. Look, the Cincinnati Bengals need to wear the white tiger stripe uniforms every freaking time they play football. Georgia needs to wear the black jerseys. Man, it's cool. The fans want to see it. The jerseys have no effect on how you play. If you need a jersey to play football, you're in the wrong sport.
Preach.
Go play football. The green jerseys are badass. It's cool. That stadium on a Saturday night with the green jersey, man, that is wild, dude. That's crazy. I love the jerseys. Keep wearing them. Just get better at football. Just get better at football.
Right.
Dylan, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm right there with Jared. if you like, if Georgia would wear black, every home game or 3 times out the year, it wouldn't be a thing. But when you do it, when it's a special occasion and you make it a thing, you put expectations and you put more pressure on the kids. They're like, oh shit, special game, here we go. And then their mind's not on the right stuff. Their mind's not.
Switch it up and do it against Ball State.
There you go. My mind's not on stopping the run. My mind's on if I'm looking good in a black jersey for all the fans that wanted it. So yeah, wear it all the time. And does Notre Dame have an all gold? If they don't, as a great philosopher once said, I want the gold. Give me the gold. They need to go all gold. I would
fire. Even the Navy would be fire. All blue with the gold helmets.
That's right, Dylan. A great philosopher in the crowd in Mobile, Alabama, when they discovered a leprechaun in the tree. And if you haven't seen that, me and Dylan's been a fan of the leprechaun on St. Patty's Day. We watch that video every year. Yeah, go ahead and Google leprechaun in Mobile, Alabama. Somebody wanted to go. Craig, what you got going on?
I think it's just a crackhead hiding in the tree.
Craig,
no, still a leprechaun. Jerseys out here. I'm old school. We don't need all kind of different colorways and patches. If that's what you need to get your piss hot to play a football game, nope. I mean, everybody wants to be Oregon, right?
Yeah.
I have 43 different jerseys and Maryland's helmets are a mess. They got 40. I mean, come on, man. just play the game. I'm old school when it comes to that. Auburn putting them damn orange face mask on and losing every game they put them on. Like, that's a special event. It wouldn't be a big deal, like they said, unless they made it a special occasion. Like, hey, Auburn's Twitter before they went to play A&M in College Station said, y'all feeling like some orange? And then they wore those orange face masks and got beat again. Come on,
Speaking of that, Auburn also announced for the fans all to wear orange this week against Georgia.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Fans, they can do whatever they want to. Don't tell them to wear. Don't get the players some special jersey for the Auburn game. Put them in this beautiful navy and orange and see what happens.
I do agree, Craig. And I'm gonna throw a surprise segment on you guys real quick before we do our college football pick'em. This is the SEC shuffle. Okay. Ooh. I want to know your SEC game of the week and why. I'm not looking for the best game. I'm looking for your favorite game, one that you will be watching. Coach Price, who you got?
I got Tennessee, South Carolina. I know it. And I mean, the only reason why is because I think South Carolina is going to beat Tennessee. Yep. I don't think Tennessee has got the manpower to come back, and I think Rattler is just going to actually annihilate them. And Josh Heupel, to me, actually looks like Bobby.
Yeah, you are right. He does look like a big Bobby Hill. I heard they're bringing the King of the Hill back. We might see Josh Heupel on the show. Bobby would be about 30 years old now. So maybe
Coach
we'll
of Tennessee.
Two-turn Tony, what's your favorite SEC game of the week?
No, I'm kind of, they say it's good for the quarterback and their OC to be on the same page. It's kind of starting to piss me off how much me and Coach Price are on the same page, because I thought for sure no one else was going to say this Tennessee-South Carolina game, because, I mean, South Carolina blew them out last year, and Joe Milton sucks. So this is a big game for them. They're favored by double digits, but I am going to change my pick now since JP did that. Let's see Barry's face cringe like the Grinch real quick. My game of the week is LSU traveling to the Grove against them Ole Miss Land Sharks. They're the damn Rebels. Screw a Land Shark. The Ole Miss Rebels. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you why that's my game of the week.
LSU, because you want LSU to lose, so y'all might have a chance to get in playoffs.
Yeah, I ain't worried about none of that. LSU secondary is buns. It's buns. They got radio. Y'all want to talk about radio at Alabama? They got radio at every position on the secondary at LSU. They out there doing this right here and can't figure out who's on the field looking around. And, I mean, KJ Jefferson pulled the ball down for 0.2 seconds. Everybody ran. He threw a 15-yard pass and went 80 yards down the field.
Receipts. Keep on talking. I'm getting them receipts.
Look, we've seen in the Alabama game, the difference is Alabama's secondary is actually good. LSU secondary. Now, their pass rush, LSU's pass rush, I will say it's better than Alabama's. Their pass rush is better. Dart can take a hit, but Dart is still accurate most of the time. Outside of the interception against Alabama, the balls were catchable by his receivers. They just didn't come down with them. But they were all contested catches. You're not going to see a lot of contested catches against LSU. If he has time to throw the ball, these guys are going to be standing there butt naked, no clothes on, hitting the Cupid shuffle out in open field.
Bullshit.
It's going to be a close game, and watch out for upset alert.
Everybody out there in chopping block land, this man would not bet me on the LSU Ole Miss game because he know that I would get into that wallet and I would stay in that wallet and I have more money to spend on Christmas. And I'm tired of hearing this dude say Joe Milton is cheap when my main man Dylan has had to use his quarterback last name as the butt of a joke. Your quarterback is a joke. So why you don't? No. Your quarterback had a conspiracy theory on whether or not the man can't play football or he got suspended. We still don't know the truth behind that story. All I know is he was on the bench and USF was rocking the tide.
Okay, and Joe Milton's been benched every time he started. It's his 6th year. This is Jalen Milroe's 3rd.
He's starting now.
Let's compare something real quick. Jalen Milroe and Joe Milton, they both are good at one thing, throwing a deep ball. You know the difference between Joe Milton and Jalen Milroe is, though? Jalen Milroe can run, and he can run fast, and he can run people over. Joe Milton, he's slower than Peyton Manning. He can't do nothing outside of throwing a deep ball. And it's going to show again against another terrible team that he should beat. He's going to crap his pants, and it ain't going to be the mud on the field in the back of them draws. It's going to be a big pile of poopy. Go Gamecocks.
Don't have to throw it in the dumpster.
Oh my God. I really wanted to pick Florida, Kentucky on this one. Yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, give me Florida, Kentucky. This is huge. This is really huge. If Kentucky has a chance to start 5-0 right here, 5-0.
Battle for second.
Battle for second place. This is a big game at home for Kentucky. Can Florida take this show on the road again and try to pull out a win? Can they do it? Can they go beat Kentucky at Kentucky with the quarterback that they should have had? Can Graham Mertz take it on the road? Like I said, I do think Kentucky pulls this thing out. But interesting thing to watch this weekend. This is the first time Georgia takes their offense on the road this year. This is Carson Beck's first away game in Auburn. Jordan-Hare is a crazy place to play. The weirdest things in the world happen in Jordan-Hare. And I don't think it'll happen. God forbid it happens. And if Georgia gets down early in that stadium, that's a long day, man. It really is. That's a tough place to come back and win a game. I think Georgia wins this game. I think they win easily. I'm just saying, I've seen crazy things happen there before, and man, it could happen again. I don't think it does, but it could.
Dylan, what do you got?
Mine's not necessarily. I'm not picking this team to lose, but Alabama at Mississippi State.
Yes.
Reason being, all that shit talk about LSU, they beat Mississippi State by 40. So I forget who they played last week. Smashed Mississippi State. Why is the big bad Alabama Crimson Tide only a 14-point favorite over Mississippi State? There's something going on there. Why y'all should be a 28, 31-point favorite over that sucky team. So what's going on?
I agree.
We'll find out.
Only a 12-point favorite against Auburn. They should be 25, 30-point favorite. It's because it's an away game in the SEC. But let me tell you a stat real quick. Mississippi State hasn't thrown a touchdown pass against Alabama since Dak Prescott in the final seconds of 2014. That's 32 straight quarters without a touchdown pass. Mississippi State ain't got no dog in this fight, pun intended. Will Rogers is going to be on his back. This is going to be a blowout. You heard my words. It's a blowout.
I would hope.
Craig, what you got?
Man, I got to go with the Deep South's oldest rivalry here.
Damn right you do.
I'm going to give y'all a little history lesson here real quick. I know, unlike Alabama fans, most Georgia fans don't list championships they won back in 1874. So you remember the last time that a number one ranked Georgia team came to Jordan-Hare and was favored by 3 touchdowns. It was called 40-17 ass whipping is what that was called. I don't see that happening this weekend. But I mean, like he said, like Jared said, man, Jordan-Hare is a weird place.
I agree.
There's some juju down there. You can ask Alabama fans about that.
No Mark Richt.
But
Well,
there's some bad juju down there. I think
That was
Auburn
Kirby getting whooped.
Auburn can make this an ugly game. Auburn's got some dogs on defense. If that quarterback comes out and he's jumpy in that atmosphere, it might be a long day for the dogs.
Hey, I don't
I
know his
think if
name.
Auburn makes the ugly game and keeps it on the ground, I mean, everybody thinks Georgia defense, right? Here's a little stat. They're 17th ranked defense in the country right now. I mean, I know it's early, but that is not the Georgia team we're used to looking at when it comes to D. And Auburn can run between the damn tackles. Now, whether the coaching staff figures that out or not, we'll see. So it might be, I would take Auburn in the points on this one all day long. I still think Georgia wins the game, but I think it's going to be real close.
I don't know his name, but number 10, the linebacker for Auburn, got that boomstick, son. He's legit.
Hey,
Yeah, he had a hell of a game at Cal. He's
who does Auburn keep in the game this week at quarterback? Do you give Peyton Thorne the reins all game?
Man.
Well, neither one of them can.
Yeah, quarterback on this one.
Well, neither one of them have time, and they're not. Who are they throwing to?
I agree with that, but Thorne's the better option throwing the ball.
This is the thing, and I predicted this at the beginning of the year. I think Auburn with the transfer portal, and I think Freeze is a good coach. I think he's got good coaches around him, especially the defensive coordinator. The defense is playing well. I think there's one of 4 games we're going to win we shouldn't have won. I don't know if it's going to be this one or not. We're going to beat somebody we shouldn't this year. I don't know who that is yet.
I agree.
Georgia 41-17.
Hey, Dalton, I don't know who
Georgia by 5 touchdowns.
41-17.
Another sleeper game in the SEC is A&M versus Arkansas. It's at Arkansas, but this is A&M's first game without Wegman. You got Max Johnson at quarterback. I mean, I believe A&M wins the game, but we seen what happened to A&M against freaking Miami.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the backup quarterback dropping dimes against Auburn. He ain't bad.
Max Johnson's a good quarterback. That's what I was telling him. Look, people were telling me I'm dumb. Max Johnson was good at LSU when he started that year.
Yeah.
Just the rest of the team was terrible. He threw for like 3,000 yards, 20-plus touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. But he had nobody to throw to. And Coach O was too busy sleeping with 20-year-olds to get him some receivers.
But, dude, I'm telling you, though, if Arkansas plays anything like they did the other week, man,
it's going to be a good game. It's always a good game. And is this game – I know it says Arkansas, but don't they usually play at the Cowboys Stadium?
At Jerry's World.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's always a great game.
Neutral site.
Yeah. All right. So brings us to our last segment of the night. It's time, boys. The college football pick'em. All right. Game 1, Utah coming in at number 10 ranked versus Oregon State, number 19. We saw them put up an egg last week. 22 ranked Florida goes into Kentucky, who is unranked but undefeated. And I always think they're mistreated by the polls every year. It seems like they have to go 6-0 to get into the polls. Game 3, 24, Kansas undefeated and looking pretty good to start the year versus number 3, Texas. I think this is going to be a sleeper good game. I'm going to have Texas winning it, but it will be a sleeper good game. Number 13 ranked LSU versus Ole Miss, ranked number 20. And then number 11, Notre Dame versus number 17, Duke, which is my game of the week. We saw Duke look good week 1 against Clemson. Notre Dame's going to come ready to play this game after dropping the egg on the last 2 plays. I'll give you mine real quick. I've got Utah winning against Oregon State. I've got Kentucky beating Florida. I have Texas beating Kansas. I'm going to go with LSU. I think they're going to play just like they did against Mississippi State and beat another team from Mississippi. And then I'm going to go with Duke. I think Duke is going to be one of the better teams in the ACC this year. They're going to compete with Florida State. They've looked good on all cylinders of the ball, especially, Clemson. I mean, they dominated Clemson, and Florida State had a tough time with them. I know it was at Clemson, but I got Duke beating Notre Dame in a shocking win. Tony.
I'm going to take these out of order real quick. I'm going to start with your Notre Dame Duke. Duke started off 4-0, and I'm not, sleeping on them or nothing, but I think Notre Dame wins this convincingly, man. That Duke-Clemson game was a crap show for 3 quarters. That fumble Clemson had to tie the game, they took it down to the 1 and extended it to 21-7. I don't think Duke's a great team. I think Notre Dame wins that convincingly. I got Kentucky beating Florida. once again, another good game. It could go both ways. I could see Florida winning. I think Kentucky gets it done at home. I'll never bet for you, DJ Ugalele, against anybody that has a pulse. Utah wins that game. I'm agree with you on that Kansas-Texas sleeper game. I still think that Texas defense dominates against Kansas. Like I said, two of their D linemen are really, really good at Texas. But this is one of those games for some reason that you just have this feeling Quinn Ewers has an off game. He still has really good numbers, but he has a couple slip-ups, misses a couple of those wide-open throws or tight throws that he normally makes that could be in clutch situations, and Texas wins game a little closer than people think. But I got Texas winning, and I got a phone call real quick. Let me see. It's Lane Kiffin out of Kiffin's Crimson Corner from Daniel Tosh real quick. I got you, bub. Barry brought that edit up of the Lane train a few weeks ago. Like I said, the Lane train, it broke down a few times in Tuscaloosa, and they had to, get some people out there to fix it. It's back up and rolling, and I heard a tiger try to jump across the tracks, and it didn't make it. So I'm rolling with the Ole Miss Rebels at home to beat the LSU Tigers by a field goal.
All right, Coach Price.
Well, game one, Utah, Oregon State. I got Utah. I think that conference, like somebody said the other day, is going to destroy itself. Everybody's got to play each other. Second game, Florida, Kentucky. I got Kentucky over Florida. Like I said, Florida's going to go shoot themselves in the foot. Kansas, Texas. Give me Texas in that ball game. LSU, Ole Miss. I'm going to take a Bible verse that I've always loved. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So I'm going Ole Miss since we got two Tigers.
What?
That's rooting for Georgia to lose this week. So we're going to go with the Ole Miss Rebels, and if I have to, then next week I'll make another stop in Baton Rouge and pick up some more of Lane's diapers. But I'm going Ole Miss. And Notre Dame, Duke. Notre Dame, y'all going to easily win this ball game because it wasn't your player performance that cost you the ball game against Ohio State. Your players actually had a chance to beat Ohio State. It was your coaching staff that hurt you in the end. And I think the coaching staff is the one that's learned a lesson, just like you would expect your players to learn a lesson. So give me Notre Dame over Duke.
All right, Craig.
I'm not betting against the Utes because I called them the first week and they've won ever since. I'm taking Utah over Oregon State. I got Florida going to Kentucky. I don't think Napier, like it was mentioned earlier, Stoops has got something figured out with that Florida team. I got Kentucky winning that one. I got Texas beating Kansas at home. The Hook'em Horns are going to be in full effect. That's a big game. I got the Tigers going to Ole Miss and making some Lane Kiffin jambalaya to be served on the Grove after that game. I got the Tigers winning that one. I got Notre Dame pissed off after last week going to Duke and open up a can of, it's kind of like Kansas. I mean, all these schools are not necessarily known for their football prowess. I can't think of the last time that I've even seen. I mean, it's been a while since Duke was ranked, right? I don't see Notre Dame laying an egg twice. I think they go into Duke and beat them pretty handily.
Dylan.
Well, with game one, I'm going to hit y'all with a not so fast, my friends, and I'm going to hit y'all with a poem. After I make this pick, y'all are going to say, who? Even if Cam Rising plays, I'm going with DJU. Utah does not have the offense to keep up with Oregon State. If it was at Utah, I'd give them the slight edge. At Oregon State, I'm going to go Oregon State with the upset. Number two, it's going to be an ugly game. It's probably going to be 15-14, but I'm going to go with Florida pulling that out because I think I think Florida forces more turnovers. Texas is a 16.5-point favorite, and they will cover. They'll beat the shit out of the Jayhawks. LSU, Ole Miss, I do think it'll be close early just because I think the ability for Jackson Dart to run will extend a lot of plays and drives. But I got LSU pulling away late, 38-24. And then for Notre Dame, this is a either get-right game or your season's done game. And I think it's going to be a get-right game. I think just because of how balanced they are, I think they'll come out and they'll make a statement.
All right, Jared Cole.
Oh, I'm with Dylan on this. Oregon State and DJ it's going to take it. Man, I've been waiting on them all year. I've been very high on them. I like them a lot. Yeah, I agree. Utah, I don't think has the offense that they can play in this one. Florida, Kentucky, this is an absolute rock fight. This is like two fat kids on the playground just slapping each other. One of them's going to walk away eventually. Give me Kentucky in this one, just for the home field advantage part of it. Man, I love Jalen Daniels at Kansas. I really do, but they don't have a shot. I mean, if Texas's bus don't show up, I guess they got a decent chance. But so give me Texas, and I'll go with Dylan Texas to cover. This next game, maybe it's just me. Ole Miss sucks. They're not a good football team.
No,
they're not. I'm Jackson Dart. I mean, I like Jackson Dart. I do. Granted, that's it, man. Judkins I do like, but Ole Miss is not a good football team. They're not. Nobody will ever convince me. They haven't done anything that impresses me whatsoever. LSU in a boat race. And then I will throw Notre Dame. Notre Dame's going to win this game. They should win this game. Yeah, dude. The Ole Miss one, I've been waiting to say this whole show, man. The Ole Miss thing, I'm out. I was wrong about them to start the year. I'm out. I'm out, man.
They hurt you when Tulane win, didn't they?
Huh?
They hurt you when they beat Tulane, didn't they?
Tulane should have won that football game, man. Tulane should have won that football game. But no, like I just the Judkins hadn't came out like I thought this year.
He's
Jackson Dart. I know that's the huge part of it. It's just not. They don't. Their offense is not what I thought it would look like at this part of the season. Now, granted, it's still decent. But I just they ain't it, man. They ain't it, dog. They ain't it.
and if you get a chance, go on to the Chopping Block podcast group page, and you'll see my prediction of the LSU Ole Miss game in raw fashion. LSU big.
And then just when you're on that page, go ahead and fund the GoFundMe on there, because Barry's going to have to wear a toupee to hide himself if they lose this game. So
Well, if they lose, we got to have another host for a day because Barry don't want to see me.
If LSU loses that game, there will not be a show.
I'm gonna tell you where everybody's actually getting lost in the sauce on it is because of what actually happened with Ole Miss and Alabama. But the thing is, Alabama's defense is nice. A lot of folks are sleeping on that part because we're too focused on Miro in the quarterback room. But Lane Kiffin didn't have an easy road at Alabama when it came to that defense. He just choked on a bone when he could have capitalized on it. But don't sleep on Alabama in the defense. Like I said, right now I'm looking at they are beatable by anybody who wants to go out and beat them. If you focus on giving their offense a lot of 3-and-outs to put their defense on the field a lot. But no other than that, man, you let Alabama keep coming out with a rested defense, and it ain't gonna be no easy task. I'm not taking nothing from them. It's still dogs on top, but don't sleep on Alabama defense.
We'll see about that when Auburn get a hold of y'all. We'll see how that turn out.
you watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
Well, that has been This Week in College Football on the Chopping Block podcast. We do have an announcement to make. Next Tuesday and Wednesday will be the official new schedule of the Chopping Block podcast. The Tuesday will be This Week in College Football, and Wednesdays will be the NFL show hosted by Beast of Kane. And I wanted to say to the fans watching this, if you like this broadcast, we've been consistent. We've been here every week. We're going to stay here every week. Share this to a friend and help us keep rolling. Give us comments. And if you're interested in coming on the show one day, let us know. And by the way, we also do have one spot that is very important to the Chopping Block podcast that we are trying to find right now. If you are a video editor or a
audio editor,
producer, whatever you want to call it. If you have some talent and you want to help this podcast keep growing, reach out to us on our page. But that is it for tonight. This has been the Chop 'em Block podcast presented by DJ's Clam Shack here in St. Augustine, Florida. And when I'm on vacation this upcoming week, I might have to go to Indian Shores to their other location and see what they got cooking over there. But we appreciate you joining. Dylan, send us home.
Barry, come close. Come close. Drop that shit.
yeah, we about to do it. Watch us get into it. We some lumberjacks, and we needing wood. Yeah, we going for the sweet, then we mop it up.